And then they had to plan out who they wanted to hit, what they wanted to hit before decided on attacking a building.
All right.
McVeigh had contemplated assassinating Attorney General Janet Reno, FBI sniper Lon Horiuchi.
Remember him?
Horiuchi, right? Who had become infamous among extremists because of his participation in the Ruby Ridge and Waco sieges.
Jeez.
And others, they considered.
No.
And others. McVeigh claimed he sometimes regretted not carrying out an assassination campaign.
He should have.
Yeah, he probably should have. He initially intended to destroy only a federal.
If he was going to do either or, he probably should have.
1 or 200 and something.
Right.
He initially intended to destroy only a federal building, but he later decided that his message would be more powerful if many people were killed in the bombing.
No.
McVeigh's criterion for attack sites was a target that the target should house at least 2 of the 3 federal law enforcement agencies, the ATF, FBI, or the DEA. He regarded the presence of additional law enforcement agencies such as Secret Service or the Marshals Service as a bonus.
Dang.
Yeah, so this guy, I mean...
How big of a service is a Secret Service, though?
Pretty big.
Is it? Kind of like the FBI itself? CIA itself?
Do you know how many Secret Service agents there are?
I'm sure it's thousands, right?
Yeah. Tens of thousands. It's got to be. Right?
Who gets the Secret Service? Just ex-president and vice
Everybody.
presidents, right?
No, there's Secret Service at all the
Congress, Senate, and all that?
There's Secret Service at all the embassies and everything. Secret Service just shot and killed a man the other day for trying to attack the Peruvian embassy in Washington.
No shit. And these guys are men in black, huh?
Pretty much.
A resident of Kingsman, Arizona, McVeigh considered targets in Missouri, Arizona, Texas, and Arkansas. He said in his authorized biography that he wanted to minimize non-governmental casualties. Okay. So he ruled out Simmons Tower, a 40-story building in Little Rock, Arkansas, because the florist shop occupied space on the ground floor.
Oh, please don't ruin the florist shop.
Heaven forbid, ruin the florist shop.
Right.
Go ahead and take out that daycare. December 1994, McVeigh and Fortier visited Oklahoma City to inspect McVeigh's target, the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building. The 9-story building, built in 1977, was named for a federal judge, housed 14 federal agencies, including the DEA, ATF, Social Security Administration, and recruiting offices for the Army and Marine Corps.
Jeez.
Oh, dang, that would have been it.
I would assume that's why he chose it. Well, McVeigh chose the Murrah building because he expected its glass front to shatter under the impact of the blast. Whoops, sorry. He also believed that its adjacent large open parking lot across the street might absorb and dissipate some of the force and protect the occupants of nearby non-federal buildings.
Okay.
And he's such a thoughtful guy, isn't he?
Right.
In addition, McVeigh believed that the open space around the building would provide better photo opportunities for propaganda purposes. He was right, because they got some propaganda out of them.
He did.
He planned the attack for April 19th, 1995 to coincide with not only the second anniversary of Waco, but also the 220th anniversary of the battles of Lexington and Concord during the American Revolution.
Oh, look at this guy.
Why?
History boof.
It's the official start of the war. First military engagements of the American... Okay. So, man, that's why he was hoping to repeat and start another war or something? Is that what's going on there?
Like his version of revolution.
Another revolution, yeah.
McVeigh or Nichols purchased or stole the materials they needed to manufacture the bomb, stored them in a rented shed and multiple sheds. In August 1994, McVeigh obtained 9 binary explosive kind sticks from gun collector Roger E. Moore, and with Nichols ignited the devices outside Nichols' home in Harrington, Kansas. September 30th, 1994, Nichols bought 40 50-pound bags of ammonium nitrate fertilizer from Mid-Kansas Coop in McPherson, Kansas. Enough to fertilize 12.5 acres of farmland at a rate of 160 pounds of nitrogen per acre, an amount commonly used for corn. Nichols bought an additional 50-pound bag on October 18, 1994. McVeigh approached Fortier and asked him to assist with the bombing project. But Fortier was like, I want to get high.
Right, no thanks. Well, after that, McVeigh and Nichols robbed Moore in his home of $60,000 worth of guns, gold, silver, and jewels, transporting the property in the victim's van.
Uh-oh.
McVeigh wrote Moore a letter in which he claimed that the government agents had committed the robbery.
Oh.
Items stolen from Moore were later found in Nichols' home and in a storage shed he had rented.
Oh, jeez.
In October of 94, McVeigh showed Michael and his wife Lori Fortier a diagram he had drawn of the bomb he wanted to build. McVeigh planned to construct a bomb containing more than 5,000 pounds of ammonium nitrate fertilizer mixed with about 1,200 pounds of liquid nitromethane.
Ooh.
and 350 pounds of Tovex.
Oh, man.
Jeez, dude. He was...
It's a freaking bomb there, buddy.
Dude... It took off a third of the building, and he was parked outside on the street. Just imagine if he was, like...
Inside.
Yeah.
It took the whole thing down. Including the weight of the 16 55 U.S. gallon drums in which the explosive mixture was to be packed. The bomb would have a combined weight of about 7,000 pounds. Mcveigh originally intended to use hydrazine rocket fuel, but it proved too expensive. Yeah, shit's expensive. During the Chief Auto Parts Nationals, a round of NHRA Winston drag racing series at the Texas Motorplex, Mcveigh posed as a motorcycle racer and attempted to purchase 55 United States gallons drums of nitromethane on the pretext that he and some of his bikers needed it for fuel for racing. That's a lot. But there were no nitromethane-powered motorcycles at this meeting, and he did not have an NHRA competitor's license.
Yeah, I would think that would be important.
Why would he even try that?
You gotta do what you gotta do, I guess. Representative Steve LeSueur refused to sell to him because he was suspicious of McVeigh's actions and attitudes.
And he would have been right.
But sales representative Tim Chambers sold him 3 barrels.
Oh, jeez.
Chambers questioned the purchase of 3 barrels when typically only 1 to 5 gallons of nitromethane, he noted, would be purchased by a top fuel Harley rider, and the class was not even raced that weekend.
Oh.
But he still sold it?
Yeah, whatever.
McVeigh rented a storage space in which he stockpiled 7 crates of 18-inch long Tovex sausages, 80 spools of shock tube, and 500 electric blasting caps, which he and Nichols had stolen from a Martin Marietta Aggregates quarry in Marion, Kansas.
Okay.
How are they stealing this stuff?
All right, that's what I like to know. He decided not to steal any of the 40,000 pounds of ANFO, ammonium nitrate fuel oil, he found at the scene, as he did not believe it was powerful enough. He did obtain 17 bags of ANFO from another source for use in the bomb, though. McVeigh made a prototype. I know that makes no sense. McVeigh made a prototype bomb that was detonated in the desert to avoid detection. Think about the people as if they were stormtroopers in Star Wars. They may be individually innocent, but they are guilty because they work for the evil empire. McVeigh reflected on the deaths of victims in the bombing. So you want to think of them as stormtroopers, I guess? Sure.
I guess. Gotta take him out. Later, speaking about the military mindset with which he went about the preparations, he said, "You learn how to handle killing in the military. I faced the consequences, but you learn to accept it." He compared his actions to the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki rather than the attack on Pearl Harbor, reasoning it was necessary to prevent more lives from being lost. On April 14, 1995, McVeigh paid for a hotel room at the Dreamland Motel in Junction City, Kansas.
Next day, rented a 1993 Ford F700 truck from Ryder under the name Robert D. Kling, an alias he adopted because he knew an Army soldier named Kling, with whom he shared physical characteristics and because it reminded him of the Klingon warriors of Star Trek. And this dude loves some Star Trek and Star Wars.
Yes, oh, nerd.
April 16th, 1995. He and Nichols drove to Oklahoma City, where he parked a getaway car, a yellow 1977 Mercury Marquis, several blocks from the Murrah Building. The nearby Regency Towers apartments lobby security camera recorded images of Nichols' blue 1984 GMC pickup on 16th of April. After removing the car's license plate, he left a note covering the vehicle identification number, and it said, "Not abandoned. Please do not tow. Will move by April 23rd. Needs battery and a cable." Both men then returned to Kansas.
I don't think that's going to work.
It might.
Might have. On April 17th through the 18th in 95, McVeigh and Nichols removed the bomb supplies from their storage unit in Harrington, Kansas, where Nichols lived, and loaded them into the Ryder rental truck. They then drove to Gary Lake State Park, where they nailed boards onto the floor of the truck to hold the 13 barrels in place and mixed the chemicals using plastic buckets and a bathroom scale. A bathroom scale, huh? Each filled barrel weighed nearly 500 pounds.
Wow.
McVeigh added more explosives to the driver's side of the cargo bay, which he could ignite, killing himself in the process at close range with his Glock 21 pistol in case the primary fuses failed.
Oh, wow.
During McVeigh's trial, Lori Fortier stated that McVeigh claimed to have arranged the barrels in order to form a shaped charge.
This was achieved by tamping, which is placing material against explosives opposite the target of the explosion on the aluminum side panel of the truck with bags of ammonium nitrate fertilizer to direct the blast laterally towards the building. That's what they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, McVeigh arranged the barrels in the shape of a backwards J. He later said that for pure destructive power. He later said that for pure destructive power, he would have to put the barrels on the side of the cargo bay closest to the Murrah Building. However, such an unevenly distributed 7,000-pound load might make an axle break, flip the truck over, or at least cause it to lean to one side, which could have been drawn attention to him, right?
Obviously, you're riding down the road like this.
Right. I'm like, take a look at that guy.
All or most of the barrels of AMFO contain metal cylinders of acetylene intended to increase the fireball and the brisance of the explosion. I am not an explosion expert, apparently.
Right.
Mcveigh then added a dual-fuse ignition system accessible from the truck's front cab. He drilled 2 holes in the cab of the truck under the seat, while 2 holes were also drilled in the body of the truck. 1 green cannon fuse was run through each hole into the cab. These time delay fuses led from the cab through the plastic fish tank tubing conduit to 2 sets of non-electrical blasting caps, which would ignite around 350 pounds of the high-grade explosives that Mcveigh stole from a rock quarry.
Okay.
Where did he learn all this? They weren't doing this stuff in the military.
The tubing was painted yellow to blend in with the truck's livery and duct taped into place to the wall and make it harder to disable by yanking from the outside. The fuses were set up to initiate through shock tubes to 350 pounds of Tovex Blastrite gel sausages, which would in turn set off the configuration of barrels. Of the 13 filled barrels, 9 contain ammonium nitrate and nitromethane, and 4 contained a mixture of fertilizer and about 4 U.S. gallons of diesel. Additional materials and tools used for manufacturing the bomb were left in the truck to be destroyed in the blast, of course. After finishing the truck bomb, the 2 men separated. Nichols returned home to Harrington, and Mcveigh traveled with the truck to Junction City.
Can you imagine him?
All right.
Traveling in that death trap?
The bomb cost about $5,000 to make.
Jeez. McVeigh's original plan had been to detonate the bomb at 11 a.m., but at dawn on April 19th, 1995, he decided instead to destroy the building at 9 a.m. As he drove toward the Murrah Federal Building in the Ryder truck, McVeigh carried with him an envelope containing pages from the Turner Diaries, a fictional account of white supremacists who ignite a revolution by blowing up the FBI headquarters at 9:15 one morning using a truck bomb.
Oh.
McVeigh wore a printed T-shirt with "Sic Semper Tyrannis," thus always to tyrants. What according to legend Brutus said as he assassinated Julius Caesar, and is also claimed to have been shouted by John Wilkes Booth. Oh, right. Immediately after he assassinated Lincoln.
Right.
And the tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants, from Thomas Jefferson.
Oh. I mean, what you can do, right? Must be refreshed time to time.
Everybody's got to shed blood, pretty much. That's what old Tommy Jeffy said.
He also carried an envelope full of revolutionary materials that included a bumper sticker with the slogan falsely attributed to Thomas Jefferson. And it said, "When the government fears the people, there is liberty. When the people fear the government, there is tyranny." Underneath, McVeigh had written, "Maybe now there will be liberty."
McVeigh entered Oklahoma City at 8:50 a.m. At 8:57, the Regency Towers Apartments lobby security camera that had recorded Nichols' pickup truck 3 days earlier recorded the Ryder truck heading towards the federal building.